Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Chef Rob. Today we're going to celebrate Oktoberfest. I have a German apple cake. This recipe will be really a fancy cake, nice to have for a party or entertaining or just for your family. So first thing you want to do is preheat the oven to 350. It will take 1 hour to cook this, and then it's going to take 1 hour for it to cool. Okay, so make sure you give yourself enough time. So we're going to take a medium-sized bowl, and we're going to take 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Just kind of level that off. And now our half cup. So 1.5 cups of flour. We're going to add baking powder. So the baking powder, you want 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm just leveling that off. And now our half. Going to take some salt. The salt brings out the flavor in baking, so 1/2 teaspoon of just the regular table salt. And we're just going to mix this up really well. And we're just going to set this aside. Now you want to get out a large bowl. So now in our larger bowl, we're going to take 1 full cup of sugar. Please don't skimp on the sugar on this recipe. Okay. 1 full cup of the sugar. 2 eggs. Bring it to room temperature. And now we're just going to whisk this together. Just as soon as you see no sugar in the bowl, that is when you are going to stop. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to add the canola oil. The canola oil is 1/2 cup. Going to add some orange juice. You can use fresh orange juice or the bottled orange juice for this. It's only 1/4 cup. Okay, so not too much of it. And we're also going to add in some vanilla extract. The vanilla extract is 1 teaspoon. Put that right in there, and we're going to whisk this up really good. And then we're just going to set this aside. We're just beating this until it's really well combined. Okay, we're also going to take a 9-inch pan, and we're just going to give it a quick spray. Don't want too much spray there, okay, because you don't want to taste spray, you just want to lightly coat it. We're going to peel 2 apples, and then we're going to thinly slice them. You can use, of course, the apples of your choice. Mixing the apples is always a nice thing because sometimes a little sweet and a little bit tart is nice. So I am using a Gala apple, and I'm also going to use a Granny Smith apple. Now the Gala apple, it has a thinner skin, not tough like the Granny Smith skin. So the Granny Smith apple, that one you definitely want to peel, but one like this you really don't have to. Okay. Sometimes it gives it a nice look when it has a little bit of a red on there. And then I'm just going to peel the other one, and I'm going to thinly slice it and just have that ready. We're also going to be making a cinnamon sugar that's going to go between the layers. Remember, this goes in a 350 oven, and it will take exactly 1 hour. Okay, you're going to put a toothpick in it just to make sure it comes out nice and clean. Okay. Okay, just get rid of these peels here. Now what I like to do with the apples is just kind of go right up to the core, and then the other sides just like this. And I want to slice them as thin as I can get them, because then I can really fan it out and make it really look beautiful. Okay, just a little bit of the core stem there, so I want to get that out. And now if you just go like this and just thin slice it, perfect. Okay. If the apples are a little bit small, go with a third apple. Okay. And then we'll just go on to the other one. And again, the combination of a sweet apple and then a tart apple just gives it a nice flavor. And especially when you make like an apple pie or apple crisp, always try to do something like that. Just take that little skin there off. And now just thin sliced. And we're just going to set this aside. Don't need to put lemon juice on it because we are going to be using this in a moment. So we're going to take our flour mixture and add it into the egg mixture. And we're going to beat this well just until all the flour is gone. And then we're just going to set this aside. When this is sitting, we're just going to make some cinnamon sugar because we want to kind of put some in between the layers and then sprinkle some on top as well. So we're just about there. Go against the side of the bowl too, because sometimes some flour lays up there. So this is perfect, just like this. Now in a very smallest bowl you kind of have, you're just going to take 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1.5 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And you could just mix that up. Kind of just go like that. That's perfect. So you want to have your cinnamon sugar already, have your apples sliced, and then also have your batter all done. Okay. So get everything off of the whisk. We're going to take half of the batter and we're going to pour it right into this pan here. Just try to be careful that you are putting about half of the amount of batter. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be close because you want it to kind of bake nice and evenly. Okay, maybe just a touch more it needs, and you'll get an eye for it where you can just see that it is the right amount. Okay, so we have the batter in here. I'm going to take the apples, and what you want to do with the apples, because it's going to make it a really pretty presentation, just go around just like this and fan it all around the whole cake. And just keep going just like this, and then when you get to the center we just kind of layer a few just like that. And you should have enough apple. Again, 2 apples, but if you need to go to a third one, have one ready. Okay, so we have half the amount of the cinnamon sugar here. We are just going to use the half, save the other half for the top. Just kind of lightly dust it, because cinnamon can be strong in one area. So just kind of fan it out just like that, but make sure you save enough. Okay, now after the batter, then the apples, and then the cinnamon sugar, we're going to take the remaining batter and we're just going to drizzle this right all over this. And I like to just take the bowl and go all around so I kind of cover the whole cake. Okay, just keep moving it around, and then you can just kind of spread it very gently because you don't want to disturb the apples underneath. You want that layer to look really nice. And make sure you scoop everything out of the bowl. Use a spatula. I know my oven is all preheated to 350, so I'm just going to fan this out. I'll spread this out, and then I'm going to fan the apples right on top. So I am going to be using the remaining apples. I used Gala, and I used Granny Smith apples. I love Granny Smiths, especially in pies. Check out our other videos and check out my Facebook page at Simply Creative Chef Rob. We do a virtual food festival every month, and we have over 250 YouTube videos out there. again, if you need to cut another apple, go right ahead. But I have enough. And when this gets baked and then has the cinnamon sugar on there, it is just going to look very pretty. This is actually a cake that could be used all year long, not just Oktoberfest. So apple season, of course, September, October, perfect time for it. Even this is a nice different baked good for Thanksgiving. And I'm using all these little ends just to kind of piece that middle part together. And making sure I cover it all. And I have a couple extra slices, so I'm just going to kind of slide them in there. And now we're just going to lightly dust it. We're going to use all of the cinnamon sugar that is remaining. So I am just going to take this in my hand, and you'll see I'm just going to kind of lightly go around. And you're going to see that this is going to get nice and high because we have the baking powder in there. That's perfect. Okay. And just kind of get any cinnamon sugar off the edges because it can kind of burn on there. So this is going to go in a 350 oven for 1 hour, but always check it again, like I said, with the toothpick. So our Oktoberfest cake finished about an hour ago. I let it cool. Take it out of the pan when you can. That way it will cool down a lot quicker. Just slide it right onto a nice platter like that. See how when you put the cinnamon sugar on here, the apples bake and it gets a little nice and crisp on here, but inside so nice and soft. This freezes really well. Before you serve it, take a little bit of powdered sugar, just sprinkle it on. If you have a powdered sugar shaker, that would work well. And if not, you could always put powdered sugar in a strainer. So I hope you will make this. Thank you for always watching. Enjoy.